So this is going to be another movie review. This one's called Candyman, 1992. Again, this 5 out of 5 stars. I thought it was better than the sequel, Candyman 2: Farewell to the Flesh. Even though the second one had more gore, and the build-up was kind of slow for the first 45 minutes. Really picked up steam around the part when Candyman first appears. I don't know why he doesn't appear the first time when she says Candyman 5 times in the mirror. But he appears all of a sudden when she does it later on in the movie. It makes no sense to me. A lot of things that the Candyman says don't make sense to me. I guess he's supposed to be an intellectual kind of monster. He's they explain how he came about in the first movie, but I think the second movie had a totally different origin of Candyman. So I don't know. I can't really understand how they could have two starkly different movies back to back. There's sort of a lack of continuity there, because Candyman supposedly dies in the fire at the end. So I don't remember the second movie, Candyman 2: Farewell to the Flesh, too much, but I do remember them saying that it's a lot different than the first movie. It's like they went in a whole different direction in the second movie. But nevertheless, pretty decent. There's a little bit of nudity with the main character. I think she was in Dune. And kind of tricky camera angles and stuff. But there's that. The women aren't very attractive in this movie, honestly. She's always constantly covered in blood. And Clive Barker is the producer. My ex-wife and I used to watch Hellraiser series movies way back in the late 90s, early part of the 21st century. We would watch the Hellraiser, and I didn't even know Clive Barker was gay until I looked at the bonus features. Not that it's any of my business, but it seems like he wants to make it my business with a picture of him and his lover in the bonus features. Anyways, I guess he was into older women when he was a young teenager. Then he became a homosexual when he was in his late teens. That's what Wikipedia says. I remember looking at his artwork and thinking, man, this stuff is pretty whack, weird. And anyways, it takes place in the projects in Chicago, and actually after the movie they tore the projects down. Doesn't exist anymore. So it's kind of a time capsule, if you will, of grimy low-income housing in Chicago. And anyways, there's this blondie student, the one from Dune. And her husband is a college professor. He's talking about urban legends. Why would I pay tens of thousands of dollars a year to learn about urban legends at a college? And why is she doing her college thesis on urban legends? So she hears about the Candyman story, and she thinks it's all a bunch of hooey. She goes to the projects where these murders are happening, and she brings her black friend, who's not very attractive, by the way. They look like typical early 90s women from the mainstream kind of I don't know, their hair and their clothes look like mainstream. Anyways, they go into the projects. The black girl brings like a mace can and some other weapons that I can't remember in her purse. And these gangsters are waiting outside, kind of haranguing them. And they go in there. They get into the grimy Candyman lair. And they start taking pictures. And then she makes friends with this little boy. She makes friends with this single mom who's living there with her baby. And all of a sudden she sees Candyman in the parking lot, and the director hypnotized her for real in the movie, so her eyes start turning red. She passes out, and then she wakes up in the bathroom with all this blood all over her. The dog's head is chopped off. Starts getting really weird, and that's when the film starts picking up. As soon as Candyman appears in the parking lot, all hell breaks loose, literally. And lots of weird stuff. I don't know what Candyman is talking about. He says, what good is blood if not for shedding? What the heck does that mean? Anyways, I guess you could pass along your blood to somebody like him if you want to have kids. I don't know. Anyways, there's a Canadian horrorcore death rap band from Ontario, Canada, called Psych Ward, and they sampled heavily from this movie in their song Satanic Rites. So I posted the link to that video in my description box. I posted the movie and the trailer in the description box if you want to check it out. Highly recommended. 5 out of 5 stars. I like this better than the sequel, actually. And getting back to the movie, so the mother attacks her with like a meat cleaver, and she ends up going to jail. They want to know where the baby is. She doesn't know what happened. And then finally, she suspects that her husband is cheating on her. The professor guy who talks about urban legends, the dweeb. And sure enough, he's not at home at 3 a.m. when she's in jail. So finally, he gets around to picking her up, bailing her out. And then the Candyman appears again. He ends up killing her girlfriend, the black lady. And the police blame the murder on her, so she ends up going to the loony bin. They put her on Thorazine for an entire month, and then she says Candyman 5 times. All of a sudden, Candyman appeared. I don't know why he didn't appear in the beginning of the movie, but anyways, he appears and he sticks his hook in the guy's the doctor who's talking to her. And then he flies away through the window backwards, kind of like a vampire scene. Pretty cool. Tony Todd. So the story behind Candyman is that he had an illicit affair with a white woman, and then all the white people cut off his hand with a rusty saw or something, and they put honey on his wound so that the bees would eat him alive or something. And that's the story behind Candyman. That's why Candyman has a hook where his hand used to be. And there's like this nasty looking nail hanging out too. All this disgusting looking human meat at the end of a stump. And so Candyman asks the blondie for a kiss, and I guess she escapes from the insane asylum. She catches her husband cheating on her with one of the high school kids, the blondie. She's either got her blouse unbuttoned or she's not wearing any brassiere. And then she goes back to the Candyman lair where Candyman kisses her with a bunch of bees in his mouth. And then she goes in the bonfire stack of junk in front of the project because she hears the baby crying, and she snatches the baby. Then Candyman appears, and she manages to escape. Although she's engulfed in flames, she saves his baby by holding the baby underneath her. And her hair and her back catch on fire. She's all nasty looking, bald headed, and burnt head. And that's pretty much the movie. I don't want to spoil the ending or tell you what happens in the ending. But again, it doesn't make sense in context of the second movie anyway. So if you're looking at it as a series, the ending of the first movie really has nothing to do with the second movie at all. I'm just trying to reach back in the depths of my mind. It's been so long since I've seen Candyman 2, Farewell to the Flesh. I just remember it being really weird and really gory. But maybe I should go back and watch that movie review so I can get a better idea of what it is about, because I completely forgot. I know it's way different than the first movie, but anyways, different director, different storyline altogether. Lack of continuity, I think. That's my wild guess based on my very limited memory. But in any case, this one's highly recommended. Check it out. Like I said, I put the movie in the trailer in the description box. And that's the end of my review. Laters.